everyone, and welcome back to It's a Cold World. I have a legend, an icon, a Hall of Famer for our very special guest today, and she's going to help us go through what's been a really exciting week in the WNBL. Semi-finals are coming up. We're going to get more into that later, but first up, we're going to speak about the WNBL Awards, and let's welcome my very special guest, Michele.
In the house.
Thanks for coming on,
Thanks,
Timsy. So, you're also, for people who don't know and haven't been watching, we also are expert commentators for the WNBL this season, and you and I have had a lot of fun, and this is why you were the perfect person to get into this with us. So, first of all, let's start with the big one, is Isabelle Borlase, who won MVP. Very much deserved, I think, but what are your thoughts, Timsy?
Oh, 100%. Totally deserved of MVP. I'd probably say that I feel Maley for me was probably second. And but absolutely Borlase deserved it. She's had an outstanding season and she's been the player we've been talking about every week. And if you talk to anyone who's watched the WNBL, it's all about La Borlase.
And it's crazy because she is only 21. She's so young. We spoke about earlier in the season her three maybe being the next thing she needs to make more consistent. And then she heard you, Timsy, and she flicked a switch. And if her threes go down, she's a three-way level scorer. And how do you stop her? Because she's so strong. She's so powerful. And, well, she led the league in points this season.
Yeah, the only way you can stop her is by attacking her at the other end, I think. You got to get her in foul trouble and try and get her off the court. She's just so good.
And are you excited to see her hopefully maybe going to the WNBA, Atlanta Dream? How do you think after this season at Bendigo, this has really set her up for then the next stage, which is WNBA?
Well, I think she's set. She's ready to go and give it a real good crack. It's a different ball game over there, and being a foreigner, you don't always get the opportunities. So whenever she gets an opportunity, she's just got to go for it, which is what she's done in the WNBL this season. So I'm excited to see how she goes, and if she can stamp her authority in that league. And as I said, it's a different league. I'm not sure what to expect, to be honest, because like I said, it is tough for foreign players to break in, and the athletes are different, over there. So I expect big things from her, and, pray and hope that she is able to make a splash and grab some minutes, and then it'll just go from there. But she just needs to get somewhere that they're going to give her the opportunity to have the ball in her hands and see what she can do.
So congrats to Izzy, MVP and, of course, points leader this season. Now, you spoke about her before, Annalie Maley. She was the rebounds leader. How impressive is it just she is like three humans in one with the energy that she has, because rebounding is an effort-based thing.
Yeah, she's just, the blue collar. She's the engine. She's amazing. I really feel for her. I think all these awards are great and her team's doing great. I wish she'd made the Opal squad at least. She's probably someone that I'd have straight away in that team. And, for all the nonsense going on around and the rhetoric that, she nominated for the 3-on-3, that's not true. She just didn't get selected. But look, she's just fabulous. Every team would want an Annalie Maley because she's blue collar. She plays the same way every minute, and that's hard at it. So I love her game. I love watching her play. I love everything she brings to the table, and she just seems like a great individual on top of that as well. And I'm really happy that not only she won the rebounding, which was a no-brainer, but the fans vote as well.
Yes, and exactly. So the fans got a chance to vote for their MVP, and Annalie Maley got that. And I think it's great as well because she's someone who, as a human, is very real and open. And I think fans can really, relate to certain things. So it's great to see that Anneli Maley, fan MVP, rebounds leader. She was averaging the double-double this season. Then we move on to the Golden Hands Award, which was Courtney Woods, which I definitely agree with. She was, I think, first. Maybe she might have just gone to second, finishing in assists, but her turnovers were really low, and she just has great decision-making, Timsy.
Yeah, great IQ. She's going to have a big say in this final series. So, deserve it and not surprising, to be honest.
Agreed. And then breakout player of the year. So for some people who don't know, it's you have to be 23 or under, because we were talking about earlier in the season, maybe Alex Chibatoni could be in that discussion, but obviously 23 and under is the limit. And for me, it was definitely Chiba versus Dallas for that Betty Watson breakout player of the year. But Dallas definitely well earned.
Yeah, absolutely. You talk about some of the best decisions made in the WNBL. Well, her going to Adelaide was the best decision that anyone's made in this league. Well, maybe Borlay's going to Bendigo as well, but Dallas was outstanding, and she's another one. Didn't make the Opal squad, but right on the cusp, and she's got such an upside. It's incredible. What I love being a point guard is her ability to go from 0 to 100 is so impressive. And her decision making, she's got a high IQ. She's your traditional point guard. She can get in the paint. She can make things happen for her teammates. I've really loved seeing what she was able to deliver this year, and a great move going to Adelaide.
Couldn't agree more. She was still going to sort of be that backup at Flyers, and she's good enough to go, lead a team, and for her to get that opportunity this season. Couldn't agree more. Great decision for her. And she has a work ethic. Like that kid, she earns everything that is given to her because she's working hard, and she's a lethal 3-point shot. But like you said, Timsy, she can get in the paint. And for someone who is a lot smaller, she's so crafty underneath the rim. And I agree with you. Future Super Bri. I can't wait to see what she can do next.
Yeah, we've got a heap of point guards. It's really exciting. Abby Ellis and, her, and you've got the likes of Heel and Shelley. I mean, we've gone from not having any point guards or feeling like we don't have many point guards, even though the game's shifting in the direction of positionless basketball, which, take it or leave it. I'm really excited about the point guards that are coming through.
And then moving to Sixth Woman of the Year, that went to Lucy Olsen from the Townsville Fire. And I feel like Townsville Fire have so many six players that are so good coming off the bench. But what did you think of that one, Timsy?
Yeah, I thought great. That for me, that was kind of a no-brainer. What a luxury for Townsville, absolutely. And she's improved, and I think her growth has not only been the physical and what she's able to do on the court, but the IQ of the game. As the season has gone on, she's started to understand what Shannon wants more and more, and I think that's really just taken her game to another level. But what an absolute luxury to have Lucy Olsen coming off the bench for you. So, that was an obvious choice for me.
And I couldn't agree more. She's really grown in regards to, this is her first time overseas playing internationally, getting used to Australia, then the system of Shannon. She came out of college straight into the WNBA with the Washington Mystics. And then here, and you couldn't have said it better, luxury is the word. You have a WNBA player who's so young coming off, and definitely well-earned Sixth Woman of the Year.
And it takes a special person, it takes a special person to come from WNBA and be able to accept that role coming off the bench. Yes, she started a few times when there were injuries, but her role was to come off the bench. And so that speaks volumes about the kid as well.
And then we go to Defensive Player of the Year, which was Han Shu, the 6'11" international Chinese player. What are your thoughts, Timsy?
Wow. Well, she takes this Perth team into areas they haven't been before. So, yes, they've worked on their defense, but with Han Shu, she's elevated them into a defensive team. So and provides incredible ring protection, but also provides a daring aspect of their defense. They can dare to play defense now, knowing that they've got someone backing them up. So, when we had great big defensive players with the Opals, you could be a little bit more risque, I guess, defensively, and really challenge yourself because you knew that you had someone in there to cover you.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. When we were going over footage preparing for this semi-finals action, she just clogs up the paint. She changes shots, even if she's not blocking them, which she is half of the time. She changes everyone's shot because you're so scared of getting blocked. And I agree. She takes Perth to another dimension, just a factor that they didn't have before. But I also think I want to shout out Jazz Shelley. I think she was a great defensive player this season, who I'm sure was very close to being on, getting that Defensive Player of the Year award. Led the league in steals. Chris gave her that job of you're going to be the roamer, and then you have to give her credit to that one game where she really shut Izzy Ball Ace, which was the MVP, down. But again, it's so good that we have so many talented players that it makes these awards like such close calls.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. And being someone who loves defense, I love seeing this.
And then we also have to give a shout out to Nia Locke, who won the Community Award. We have so many players who give back, because we were little kids once playing in basketball, looking up to people like you, Timsy. But Nia has given back to her South Sudanese community with the Flyers, giving dancing lessons as well as basketball clinics, education and development. So big shout out to you, Nia, as well. And then let's go into the all WNBL first team, Timsy. So we had Izzy Ball Ace, Courtney Woods, Ali Wilson, Annalie Maley, and Mackenzie Holmes. Do you like this lineup, Timsy? Or do you think someone got jibbed?
No, I honestly don't. The only one you could I could argue for is probably Kelsey Griffin in there, but I couldn't. To do that, you have to put someone out, and I couldn't do that. So, every year when it comes to the awards and All-Star Fives, there's always somebody saying something. Oh, well, she should have got in, But you know what? This year, I feel like they nailed it. So congratulations to the selectors on that. And, for Boddy Narge, the great basketball supporter and women's basketball supporter, for him to say he feels like they nailed it, well, that's huge. So I'm going with Boddy. I think they absolutely nailed it.
I agree. And someone we hadn't really spoken about in that first team was Mackenzie Holmes. She definitely had an MVP caliber season. She was pretty much great all season. Hard to stop her. Was in the, top 5 for both points and rebounds. Unfortunately, Geelong Venom, it just wasn't their season. But Mackenzie Holmes, she was a great import to have in the league.
Absolutely. She was, absolutely fantastic. And you sit back and you kind of wonder, well, what could have been with them? And they finished off so strong with all their pieces in play. Still without, help me here, Beck.
Oh, Gemma Potter.
So but they finished the season really well, and they gave us a taste of if they can keep those pieces together next year, which is a big if, with Chris Lucas departing and a bit going on down there in Geelong. It'll be interesting who they have come back to the club. So I'm really intrigued in seeing what they look like next year, because if they can stay together, that's one exciting ball club. Like, even when they were losing, I really enjoyed watching them play.
Mm-hmm. Very up-tempo, energetic. Defense was the main thing. I agree. And also imagine if Alyssa Pilley was good from the get-go, because when she came back into form and finally started playing, that was a game changer too. Shyla Hill laid into it. So big, yes, what if, Timsy?
Yeah, they finished really well, I thought. So, I can't, when you talk about teams in the league, or who overachieved, who underachieved, they definitely didn't underachieve with what they were dealt this year. So congratulations to Chris, and sorry to see him go, to be honest. And hopefully it's not the last we see of Chris Lucas, because he's been a absolute he's had a huge influence in the WNBL and Australian women's basketball.
Mm. And then also Ali Wilson, it was great. She obviously missed the start of the season due to knee injury. She really found her form, and we'll get more into that a bit after, but she'll definitely be a key factor for the Perth Lynx and how successful they will be in this semi-final series. But to finish off the all WNBL second team, Timsy, was Kelsey Griffin, Han Shu, Mila Sowa, Alex Chibatoni, and Kayla George. What were your thoughts on the second team?
Yeah, no surprises there. It's good when you kind of think who missed out, and I don't really know. I'm a bit biased. I would have liked Abby Ellis in there, but only because I'm a point guard. But I can't think of anyone who missed out. So that's a good thing, right?
Yeah. And like you said, lots of bigs in there. But again, Kelsey Griffin, Han Shu, Kayla George, all pretty much getting double doubles almost every single game. It's been quite impressive. And KG with her leadership, she'll be big for Bendigo. And then it was great to see Mila Sowa. She was the leading scorer for Townsville Fire in the top 5 of the league for points as well. But Alex Chibatoni, I'm so glad she's been recognised, because she stepped up in a big way when Alex Wilson was out with injury. And she's just been an absolute boss, bully ball. And, man, she's been big-time chibber. Cool, calm, collected customer.
Absolutely. And what I love is that she knows exactly when to take the game over, or when they need a basket, and she's not afraid to do it. And then she like you said, the bully boss, a bully ball, she loves taking those little guards down. You want to defend me? Take me to this, Yeah, and defensively she's really good too. Yeah, I've really enjoyed, hasn't she doubled her statistics this year? Like, she's been amazing, and another player is going to be so integral to how Perth goes this year.
Yeah. And then now moving on to the semi-finals series. So the ladder we spoke about a bit last week on the show, but Townsville Fire finished first. And then they versed fourth, who Southside Melbourne Flyers got. So, Timsy, I want to ask you, what do you think the Flyers do really well that will help them in winning this semi-final series against the Fire?
Well, good question, Bear. Can you jump in any time? But I kind of feel Townsville haven't proven yet that they can work their way through changing defenses. For me, and I feel that that's what Southside bring to the table. They can, Christy Harrer does not mind junking it up defensively, and I think that can cause a little bit of maybe a bit of a hiccup, like for Townsville. But the thing about Townsville is that they'll work their way through it before the end of the game, because they're very good. It might take them a half or whatever, but they find the answer. But this is going to be a really good matchup. I love the way that Southside match up against Townsville. But I must say, someone who's caught my eye for Townsville, especially the last 3 games, is Alicia Froling. I don't know what. Like, I sent her mum a text because I used to play with her mum, Jenny Lind. And so I fired her a text watching the game the other day and said, has she dropped weight? And has she had a sprint coach or something, or been working on her agility? Because the last few games, she is a different baller, and I guess she's needed to step up a little bit without Cox, So I'm really excited to see what she can do in this final series, because, we talked about Han Shu the other day having a pep in her step when she came out against Bendigo, demanding the ball and, going to work. And for me, that's what Alicia Froling's been doing the last, definitely last 2 games, if not 3. So, I'm really excited to see this series unfold. And, I think Townsville will win it, but I'm hoping it goes to, and I wouldn't be surprised if it goes to 3 games.
And I definitely agree with the fact I think Fire and Flyers, they match up really well against each other. And there's a rivalry there, even though they're both not Victorian based teams. When I was part of the Flyers, we're always versing them in finals.
Yeah.
It's like, it's bang on. And I think as well for me, I can't wait to see. I think Izzy Bourne could be a really big X factor in this game. If she can get going from outside and be demanding inside, because when she can get the mix of both, that I feel like gets Flyers really flowing. And then we're going to have a great matchup with the point guard Simsy of Ellis versus Rochi. Two guard
Oh,
who will get up. Yeah, grab your popcorn, people. But both love getting up in the backcourt defense. They're aggressive. They're feisty. They play with passion. Is that also a matchup that you're looking forward to?
absolutely. Warms the cockles of my heart, that matchup. I can't wait to watch that unfold. I think Rochi's got a big part to play in how successful Southside are. She needs to control the tempo. She needs to control her mental space, So, and I know she must get so sick of hearing this, us talk about the need for her to control her head in the big moments, and making sure that she doesn't cross that line and making that battle with Alice personal, because that's somewhere where I feel she can kind of go wrong. But she's, you talk about someone who's had a fabulous season. Other than her turnovers, her season has been really, really good. So she's had one of her better seasons, and I think a lot of Southside's success is going to depend on her temperament.
Mm-hmm. And I think as well, again, we said semifinals is a whole different ball game. But even though Townsville won in the amount of games over Flyers in the season, regular season, Flyers still, you beat them once on your home court. So you need to have the confidence. If we stick to our game plan, you can still have the confidence to beat these guys. But that's why we love a 3-game series, Timsy.
Absolutely, and it could have been 2-2, because Southside were in a position to win that last time they 2 games. The game where Alice hit that big three on the buzzer. So they had an opportunity to win that game. So, and we're going to speak about it a bit later. It's a little bit like Bendigo had an opportunity in Perth to beat them and could have drawn it 2-2, So, so that series is going to be really fascinating, and can't wait to watch it unfold.
I agree. And I think as well, both teams have sort of the same level of experience in this matchup. So I wouldn't say one has a hell of a lot more. They've both teams with multiple players have been in that position before. I sort of think will be the depth of Townsville that can beat the Flyers. It's going to be an interesting one. But now let's move on to the other teams. It was 2 versus 3. So Perth Lynx ended up finishing second, and the Bendigo Spirit ended up finishing third. Timsy, we just saw their last game where really it was sort of even, and then we went into halftime. Perth came out in a 1-3-1. Bendigo had no idea what to do. Just tell me your thoughts, because there's a lot of this game that's going to be exciting.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that Kennedy's, because that's been the thorn in the side the last 2 times they've met, and that changing into the zone and being able to navigate their way through that. And for me, that's been a little bit of a surprise, because Kelsey Griffin's, usually can help navigate that situation. But, I guess identifying it quickly is a big thing as well from when you're on the court. So, but they imploded. They just, that was the second game that had happened. Although when they played in Perth, they played so well right up until the last 4 minutes, and then, just tried to stand on the 3-point line against the zone and try and shoot their way out of it, and couldn't get it done. So, I have total faith that Bendigo, have learnt so much from the last two times. I mean, he's won Coach of the Year for a reason. He's a great student of the game. Um, and I know that he would have, I'm sure even before the last game, they would have been working on the zone, because that's what hurt him in Perth when they played him last. But, they've had a couple of weeks under their belt, more training sessions. I'm really keen to see when Petrick throws that zone out there, like how fast is that going to come?
Yeah.
Are they going to try and play, work their way through man to man and see how they go first? And but I'm really keen to see the chess match that's going to unfold between these two brilliant coaches. That's really intriguing for me. But I think this one, there's a lot to this game. I think that this one has the potential to go for 3. And I think if you ask anyone in the street who's going to win it, the series between Perth and Bendigo, I think probably 95% would say Perth. But that every single time I've underestimated Bendigo, they have come up with a big game. They've won. So I'm not about underestimating Bendigo and the way they can play. And they were sitting on the top of the ladder for quite a while during this season. But a few things worry me, Beck, and that is, people say, oh, it doesn't matter what has happened before the season, before the final series. That doesn't, well, it actually does matter. And I kind of feel that right now, Bendigo aren't in their happy place. They've struggled to put points on the board the last 3 games, whereas Perth, on the other hand, have just gone bang. Amy Atwell in the last 2 games has averaged 22 points a game and really found her feet. And that adds another, dimension to the Perth team, that she has been a little up and down this season, but finding her form towards the end. And then the amount of points they've been just sinking on the board, like averaging 98 in the last 3-4 games, is crazy. So I'm just worried that Bendigo might not have the score power. And that brings me to my next point, that I've been thinking about this a lot, and I just feel that either McConnell or Werrung, they need to have a Sharon Milner type final series. And for those who don't know, when I was coaching, assistant coach of Bulleen, Sharon Milner was the point guard, and she wasn't known for her scoring, but we were emphatic, Milner, you have to score in this game. And anyway, she ends up with 20-something points in the finals, and we win. So I kind of feel that they need players to step up. And I think it's McConnell and Werrung that's going to have to, and Werrung's not only going to have to play the defensive part, against, the likes of Wilson and what have you, but also going to have to continue with her fine 3-point shooting and getting to the paint. But there's a lot to this game, more than just that. And I know you're going to add some to it right now.
You crack me up. No, you couldn't have said it better, Timsy. We expect Ball Ace and Griffin. They have to go to work for scoreboard pressure. Them two, it's a non-negotiable for them. And then the likes of McConnell and Werrung, they have the ability to do that. We've seen it in the season. They need to come to the party as well. Them two is a great defensive players. They have been all season, but they need to, go to another level in this final series, so they compete with the weapons and the power and the force of the scoring that the Perth Lynx bring. And I think Kelsey Rees, she's been great as well. Her confidence against Han Shu, especially last game, she showed she could move with her. But Liv Pollard, when she comes in, she'll really need to, just amp it up another level. But that's where a big difference is. That's why Coach Kennedy, I think for me, one Coach of the Year is, hey, they have such a young squad. Besides Kelsey Griffin right now and Casey Samuels, who's on the bench, and Georgia Booth, no one else has played finals before. So that is also a big difference between these two teams. Bendigo won last season. Perth, they came short, so they have a fire in their bellies, but so young. Then Tolo, obviously getting pregnant, what Kennedy's done with this group has been amazing. And then you go to the other side of Perth, Timsy. You said it, Atwell. She hasn't really shot great this season, but we know she's a shooter. all it takes is one game, and she has found her form. When she is sinking those shots that she takes, for me, it's almost a whole nother ball game for Perth Lynx and what they can do.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, she she's really found her form in the last two games. And I feel that Bendigo need to shut either Wilson or Atwell down. They need to defend Hanshu better than they did last game. And the other thing that I think that Bendigo need to do is they need to crash the glass. They've been beaten. I was looking at the stats today. They've been beaten in every game they've played against Perth, on the boards. And when they played Perth in Perth last time, they did a really good job up to half time. They only allowed them, I think it was like 4 or 5 offensive boards. And they were winning they were in a position to win that game. But then the floodgates opened in the last quarter. And Perth ended up running over the top of them on the board. So for me, when I look at the stats, Pollard and Reese, I know they split time, but they need to have a bigger imprint on the glass, especially Pollard. If she's going to start and Hanshu's going to be in drops, you are a free rebounder. You're standing at the 3-point line or wherever you are, whatever your plan is against the drops, you are a free rebounder. You've got to get in the paint and try and get some O glass. And then at the other end, you've got to be in there to try and at least come up with the board or, slow their push down. So, yeah, I'm really keen. I want those two kids who have been so fabulous to really try and focus on getting more boards in this final series.
And then I also think the 3-point percentage will be huge too. We always know Perth is shooting lots of threes, but when they're making them, again, they could just blow away from teams and all of a sudden they're up 20 points. But the one time Bendigo beat them, they made 16 threes. They shot the ball well. They were executing on O&D. So there's just so many factors to this one, Timsy. It's so exciting what we have going on. And you just have the force and the weapons of Maley, Hahn, Chibatoni, Wilson, Atwell, Hanshu. There's your starting 5. Like, that's just nuts. And then off the bench, you have Umaya Morris who comes in and she does a great job of just filling in for Hanshu when she's off. She does all the small things. And then Steph Gorman comes on, another shooter, as well as a great defender. So, Timsy, I can't wait for this.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. It's mouth watering, that's for sure. And I can't wait to see the chess match that goes on between Ryan and Kennedy. Because they both know each other's games so well. It's it's going to be a cracker. I mean, I know it sounds corny, and I know we said it about the other series, but it's game on. I just can't, from a pure basketball lover who loves the X's and O's and the strategy, I can't wait to see how they both figure their way through this. And we haven't even mentioned Kelsey Griffin, what she brings. And Maylee we haven't really spoken about a lot. Like, it's just it's two players who are incredibly important to the outcome of their teams. I mean, how do you stop Maylee? I mean, really?
I don't think you can. But again, that is another key matchup will be Griffin and Maylee. Griffin, they both rebound the ball so well. Maylee is really good on transition. Then you have the IQ and the leadership from Griffin. There's too many mouth-watering matchups, Tim's, you said it.
Yeah, and because Griffin is so clever, like, I hope that they can work their way through attacking Perth's defense. Perth's, their man, there's, four players switch. There's so many opportunity for Bendigo to go to work on that. But what I feel is that Perth, do they just have to stop ball A's and they can win this? What do you think?
If she doesn't
it'll help them
20 points plus and the others don't lift, Perth are winning because I just don't think they can put on enough points on the board. But Timsy, you and I could bloody speak about this all day. You have a farm, you have animals to tend to. The people, you need to get excited. You need to tune in to these semi-finals teams. Good luck to all four of them. Congratulations to all our award winners. And Timsy, it was great to pick your beautiful brain on all of this. And I appreciate that I had the point guard god, the GOAT, with me today.
Oh, we're obsolete now, apparently.
But if you guys want more fun, tune in on Saturday because Timsy and I will be expert commentating together.
I don't know how expert, but we'll be commentating. Bring it on.
All right. Thanks so much, Timsy. And thanks, crew, for tuning in. It's a cold world.